What's up, guys? So you can already see that this isn't going to be a quick hit kind of, 60-second video with only one main point. So why do you even want to watch this video? The point of this video is to give you something valuable that you can come back to and take away with you to ideally get you thinking about where you're at as a builder, where your competition's at, and what you can do different to ideally get your pipeline full and not theirs. Especially if you're someone who relies on luck or referrals to get that next job. So what I want to touch on today is what my approach is and what my aim and my intention is for every client that I work with. Now, I'm also going to give you a bit of insight is, what my intention is for 2022 and beyond, and just touch on some of the things that I believe will make a huge difference to you and your business, but coming from someone who spends every single day focusing on marketing for builders and trades within the building industry. So if you're a builder, if you're someone who works in the building industry, you're probably familiar with the following three problems. Problem number one, you're attracting or having to deal with the wrong type of clients. These are the clients that focus only on the cost. Problem two, your pipeline is empty and you don't know exactly when or where that next project's coming from. Or problem number three, you're quoting, but you're rarely winning the right projects, the projects that you're excited about and the projects that are going to move your business forward. So rather than just waiting for you to call me and say, hey, Ben, I've finished the job and I need some photos, or, I'd like a video. I like to do things a little bit different. I like to be more valuable to you than that. So when I first start working with a builder, I like to try and find out, where your mindset's at with your business. And what I mean is, where you are and where do you want to go. So for example, you could be currently building $1 million homes, but you really want to be building $3, $4, and $5 million homes. I also want to find out from you, what your current marketing plan is. Do you even have a current marketing plan? And the reason for this is that a lot of builders who I've spoken to over the past few years, their plan tends to go something like this. And let me know in the comments if this is something that you can relate to. So, it goes like this. They get a project, they take some photos on their phone as it's being built. And once it's done, they might get a photographer, to get some images. If it's for sale, they might even take the images that the real estate puts online, which you shouldn't do. And, they might stick a few on their Instagram or on their website, and that's about it. What I mean is there's no long-term goal for these guys. So what I want to do is I want to sit with you and work with you to essentially become your marketing partner and look at each project as a whole and how that project can help you get towards your long-term goal of getting those more expensive jobs, of getting those better clients and winning those quotes. Or better yet, you don't even have to quote in the first place because that client comes to you because they already know and trust you. I mean, how good's that going to be? Well, it's possible with the right plan and the right strategy. Now, in my opinion, and again, this is as someone who talks with builders and looks at their marketing every single day, the thing that a lot of builders struggle with is their positioning. So what is positioning? Positioning, or your business position, goes a bit like this. Your business position will determine if clients are coming to you for you or if they're coming to you for just another quote and they've probably already got a builder that they want to work with, and your quote is simply helping them make sure that they're not spending too much money over here with the other guy. So how do you position yourself? Well, there's a few different ways now to position yourself, especially in the online space. You've probably already heard a bit about how your branding can help position you in the market. So do you look cheap, or does everything appear to be quality, from your logo to your website and even your uniform for your team if you've got one? I've spoken to you in the past about your story and how I'm a massive believer that telling your story can really play a huge impact on how people connect with you and your brand. Then there's your client stories and testimonials, So what was it like to work with you? Which again, these things have huge value and huge potential. But what I want to touch on with you today and what I believe will make a huge difference to how you're positioned is, have you ever told the story of your project? Now, what the hell am I even talking about? Think of it like this. Builders tell me all the time that if they can sit down and have a good conversation with a potential client and go over with them, how they like to build and how they like to work and what they're capable of, they tend to win that particular job. Now, the only problem with that is if you don't get invited to sit down with that potential client, then you never get a chance to tell that story. So, what the hell is the story of your project? The story of your project, it goes like this. It was your brief. So, what were the client's instructions to you when they told you what they wanted built or designed? Did they want a home that stands out, or did they want one that blends in? Did they want something modern, or did they want something more contemporary? Did they want classic? Did they want a farmhouse? Then it's how you went about achieving that brief. So what things had to be taken into consideration? No build goes to completion without some kind of challenge to overcome. So what was that challenge, and how did you use your expertise and your skill set to solve that problem and still get it done for your client? For example, I was watching an amazing interview with an architect from New Zealand, and if you know anything about New Zealand gets cold. So this particular build, it was near some glacial fields, so heating was always going to be an issue. To solve the problem, the builder and his team, they had to drill down into the bedrock to allow that trapped heat to then permeate up through the home to heat it. Now, without telling the story of that project, there's no way that builder would be able to show that that was something that he was capable of. So let that sink in for a minute and see just how powerful that is now to that builder. He told the story of that build and one of its challenges, and now every person who watches that video, they know that that's something that he's capable of, and that's something he's skilled enough to do. Now, this stuff, yes, it does mean stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit, and I can already hear you say, oh, I'm not comfortable in front of a camera. And well, of course you're not. You haven't done it before. But without a little bit of initial discomfort and trying something new, you're going to continue to be stuck in the same place, doing the same thing, getting the same results. I mean, look, you talk with people all the time, right? And we've already established earlier that if you were telling this kind of story to a potential client over a coffee, you'd probably have no problem at all. And that's all this is. So when there's an authentic interview, there's so much more that we can actually draw from than when it's just, coming from your head, completely unscripted. It's more believable, it's more conversational, and people get a chance to personally connect with you. So you might think, if this is all coming from your head, that it might not be clear, and you might get in your head and get in your own way and freak yourself out and not be able to speak, right? So what I do is I take that collection of thoughts and that conversation that we have, and I compile them into one streamlined interview that your viewer can then go on a journey with you and understand exactly what it is that you're trying to say. So there's no facade, and that it's just you speaking from within, and people can really relate to that. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. This is something that we can really unpackage and spend a whole, other video on. And there's a whole heap of other things that I can go into, but I don't want to take, and make this so long that it's going to take you more than one attempt to sit down and watch it. So I'll leave all those thoughts and other concepts for another day. But if you've gotten here and you've gotten this far, I hope that this has at least gotten some wheels turning on how this type of stuff can be really beneficial for you. Yeah, so if you've got 4 or 5 of these stories up your sleeve and the next builder's got none, who do you think those potential clients are going to be calling? Who do you think they're going to be signing those contracts with? So that's enough from me. Thanks for sticking around. And if this is something that interests you, leave me a note in the comments or give me a call, send me a DM. I'm more than happy to sit down and run over some ideas with you to get the wheels turning so you can start making something great. Thanks again, guys.